Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Now today's video basically is around indefinite leave to remain, and personally I've had loads of conversation with different people here in the UK, and one thing that I've seen, which is quite common among many of immigrants like myself who are currently on different visa categories, is majorly around the fact that when you ask them questions about when are you going to implement this? When do you plan doing this? When do you plan doing that? When do you plan, getting a house? When do you plan starting your business? When do you plan, building that stream of income that will help yourself and your family, break through this or monthly paycheck to paycheck lifestyle that many of immigrants are living? Many of them will tell you, oh, when I get my ILR, I will do that. And it's really a funny question, because I was speaking to someone a couple of days ago, and we're having a chat about you're currently on this visa, you're currently working on this, when do you plan getting so the person is currently working on the health and care visa, and the question was, oh, if you're looking at transitioning into, let's say, tech, or you're looking at starting a business, when would you plan to start? And the majority of the individuals have asked this question say exactly the same thing, that, oh, I'll get to do that when I get my ILR. The moment I get my ILR and I have enough freedom, I can do so many things. And one thing that people don't really get to understand is the fact that the possibility of you being able to change your lifestyle or your profession or your career after getting an ILR is extremely low. Now, speak to so many people. I mean, I've got a couple of friends who already have their indefinite leave to remain, and one of the things that is also common among all of them is the fact that they tell you, oh, even though I've gotten my ILR, there's absolutely nothing that has changed. I'm still on the same job. My routine is still exactly the same thing. The only thing that has changed is the fact that I no longer have so much uncertainty about UK immigration policies. That's it. That's the only thing that changed. Their lifestyle still remains the same. There's this particular video that went viral on TikTok a couple of weeks ago, when someone was saying, I think the person was works as a registered nurse in the UK, and she was like, and he was like, he's still surprised that people who have got ILR, people who have got indefinite leave to remain and British citizenship, he's still surprised that he can still see them working, picking up extra shift, picking up bank shift, and working just exactly the way they were working when they were still on a visa. And this kind of click the button. I read through the comment section, and one thing that's also common in the comment section is the fact that the fact that you got the ILR doesn't mean that your bills is going to reduce or anything is going to change. Of course, you get access to public funds, you get access to certain benefits. However, you are not qualified for those benefits if you have a certain level of earning, if that makes sense. So say for example, if you on a student, if you're on a post-study work visa, or you're in the skilled worker visa, let's stick to skilled worker visa on this conversation. And if you're in the skilled worker visa, what that means basically is you don't have access to public fund, obviously. However, you are able to build up a kind of a level of lifestyle. Your income is on a certain level. So when you get to indefinite leave to remain, when you have access to public funds, you can only get some certain public funds if you have, let's say, you're a low income earner, which obviously you wouldn't want to bring down your income because you want access benefits. How much is even the benefit in the first place? So what happens basically is when you get to ILR or you get to indefinite leave to remain, you have this level of income, level of lifestyle that you've maintained while you're on the skilled worker visa. So when you get to ILR, obviously you want to maintain that lifestyle also, and maintaining that lifestyle means that you have to stick to the level of income you're used to while you're on the skilled worker visa. And when people tell you that, oh, I'm going to transition into a new job when I get my ILR, it's always impossible. Not always impossible, but it's almost impossible. I think that's the right word to use, because if you're transitioning into a new field, what happens is you will experience a pay cut in most situations. So say for example, you work as an healthcare provider and you've worked on that role for 5 years throughout the period of your of your skilled worker visa. What happens within that 5 years is that you probably would have gotten promotion at some point, your income would have increased at some point, you're already comfortable on the job, you already have a routine. I mean, most people who work professionally in the UK have a routine. I personally have a routine, especially with my wife and my little one. We have a routine every month, every week, basically, practically every day we have a routine. So Now, when you get your ILR, you spend 5 years on the job you're used to, on the job you've got experience on the job you've gotten very much comfortable on. Now, planning to now transition into a new job after your ILR is going to be very, very difficult because one, say for example, you're transitioning from healthcare to, say you want to go into project management or business analysis. One thing is certain, you would potentially get a pay cut. So how many people are willing to go through that pay cut? That's one of the questions. So when people tell you, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that after I get my ILR. Now check it. Do they actually get it done after the ILR comes? Because nothing changed after the ILR. Now, one other thing that people, I've conversations with people about is the possibility of being able to start a business. Now, one of the major excuses people give is that, I can't start a business because I'm on a visa, yada, 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 yada. Yeah, that's valid, especially if you are single and you're on the skilled worker visa. It's absolutely understandable. However, if you are on a skilled worker visa and you've got a partner, you've got a dependent, then that's not acceptable. I mean, it's not the valid reason why you can't start a business, because the truth is, starting a business in the UK is one of the ways to gain control over your finances, and that's the honest truth. It's one of the ways to gain control over how much tax you pay. Get an accountant to help you work on your business expenses, your business income, and then fashion out how much tax you would pay, compared to those of us that work full-time, whereby before the money even hits your account, the tax has been deducted already by the tax man. However, if you've got a business, you have more control over that. You have business expenses that you can take off your income, and then you're only paying tax on your profits on that business. Now, starting a business while on the skilled worker visa, the truth is that the fact that you've got a dependent means that dependent can be the manager or the director of that business, because the dependent has no restrictions on number of hours he or she can work. So it means that if I, as a person, say for example, I'm on the skilled worker visa and I have this business idea on what I can do to make extra income, it could be digital business, it could be in-person business, whatever kind of business you've got an idea for. What happens is that your wife or your partner, your husband, as the case may be, can be the director of that business. She can do the day-to-day running of that business, even with his or her full-time job, because as a dependent, you don't have any restriction whatsoever when it comes to taking extra job or doing extra income. So your partner can be the director of that business while it's being run, while you're building up your client base, while you're building up income generation, while you're building up different strategy on that particular business. Then when you get your indefinite leave to remain, when you become a permanent resident, you can then add yourself as the director in that particular business. So the truth is, when you tell me you're waiting until you get ILR to be able to start a business, is that a valid reason now? Absolutely not. And the truth is that, you can decide to start a business after you've gotten your ILR, which is quite understandable and absolutely fine. But what people will tell you is that, what if I start a business and I have a full-time job? Won't that affect my tax code? Would that affect how much tax I'm being, how much tax I'm being charged or taken off my, my full-time job? The answer is no, it doesn't. Because there's a way your accountant can work out, your benefits in that particular organization that it helps you or doesn't impact your full-time job or the tax you pay on your full-time job. It's just about information and having access to that. However, if you're looking at starting your business and you're clueless on how to go about it, you can actually send me an email at daniel.95@gmail.com, or just click on the link in the description of this video for us to jump on a phone conversation. I can show you the step-by-step process on how to start your own business in the UK, fully registered, access to accountants that can help you manage your finances and all of those interesting stuff. All you need to do is to reach out, and you get as much help as possible in that area. So yeah, when someone tells you I'm waiting to get my ILR to start that business, to move that to that career, trust me, it shows that the person is not ready to make any decision or take any step on that particular goal and desire. So for those who are already on ILR, please share with us in the comment section, what is your experience like? Have you been able to get into that business? And for those who are on the skilled worker visa, who knows people are already on ILR, ask them the same question. Have you been able to get into that business you plan to get to before you get your ILR? Or has anything really changed in your life, in your routine, since you got your indefinite leave to remain? And if you have any question around this, please start your business in the UK, state those questions in the comment section. And if you're coming across my channel for the first time, do also hit on the subscribe button to join the amazing growing family. And this will be the end of the video, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Thank you.